that those SIs, those partners, those business outsourcers have got to spend less time trying to get all the technology working together and actually spend more time delivering value to their customers. And lastly, I would say, it's not just Cordys saying this. We work with all these people, Google Enterprise Partners, with Capgemini, CSP, and Cisco, and these are all validating the strategy that of the platform as a service and cloud computing. And very quickly, Gartner is saying lots of great things about software as a service. And the thing I wanted to leave with, you've got all of this on-premise things, you've got all of these cloud computing things. What Cordys does is it bridges the gap between the two. We're going to try and build a demo now, but if there's any more bits of this you'd like to find out some more, we're on stand 3. Come along and we'll show you this in action. I'm going to try and hand over to Chris. Would you like to see the demo?
Okay, Chris, does this thing work? Can you hear me all right? Yeah, cool. Okay, 5-minute demo, hopefully. We're going to build a telephony integrated, deployed through Google, mobile-enabled cloud application. It says 8 minutes, but I've only got 5 minutes, so let's see if we can do that. So what I'm going to do is test I'm connected, first of all, which is good. First thing I want to show, if you go to www.theprocessfactory.com, or indeed just Cordys.com, you can go to an online marketplace of quite large, comprehensive applications aimed at the SME type business, and there's a list of them, and I'll let you go and look at that yourselves. What I'm going to build is a very, very simple application. So I'm going to go into, this is the Process Factory Composer. I'm going to create a new application, and I'll call it Cloud Computing World Forum App. And I will say, let's go to Composer. So what I'm going to do when this loads up, if I click on is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import a web service. Okay, so I've got an SMS-based web service, and I'm going to run through a wizard, and this is perfectly going fast, but if you can come to the stand and understand what I did later. So let's say this is from Jar Jar. Forgive spelling, I'm going to make mistakes. There's an SMS service here. I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to say next. It's quite difficult to drive this laptop from this lectern. Once that's finished, that's registered. That is now registered in the Cordys platform, and this is all in the cloud. It's actually in a hosted data center in Dallas. The next thing I'm going to do is build a form. So I'm going to build a form, and I'm going to call it My First Mash App. And I'm going to say this is no data behind this form. This is purely just a user interface form. And on the right-hand side over here are things I can add to the form. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a picture. I'll drag that on. I'll call it logo. I won't show the label. It's going to give it a size of 290 by 60, so it looks nice. I'm going to browse. Hopefully on my desktop I've got an image here. We'll say done. And then when that loads up, I'm going to add another field. Let's add a single line text field. And we'll call it mobile number. And then we'll add another one, which is a multi-line of text field, and we'll call this message. And then we'll say done. Okay, that's our form done. Let's add a button, and just drag the button on, and the button will be called Send It. And the button is going to have a custom action, and that custom action is going to be triggering a web service. Which web service are we going to trigger? Well, let's trigger the SMS web service. And the SMS web service requires some input details. So this is an external telephony service called Jar Jar, so I need to put my login details in. That was weird. Okay, let me put my login details in. No typos here. Okay, so that's the username, and then we need to put in a password, and the password is not going to come up on the screen. I'm not that stupid. So we get some black dots. And then the from number is actually my mobile number, 47876474044. Don't write that down. And the to number is actually going to be the field on our form. So it's going to be the mobile number. Just drag and drop in here. And the message is going to be the message on our form. Drag and drop in here. Click save. Click done. Check in. Everything is version control. We've just created version 1 of our app. Okay, now I'm going to do publish application. Publish. Publish. Send to production. Yes. Okay, I now have the application. Now we're going to deploy it to Google. So here's my CCWF app. We'll switch to this. We'll go to the Setup tab. I'm going to use a URL generator. And with that URL generator, I'm going to create a Google gadget up here on the right. So let's pick the form. The form I'm going to pick is my first mashup. I'm going to say height 300. Authorized access means I have to log in to get to it. Generate the gadget URL. Here is the URL. Copy and paste. I'm going to go to iGoogle. Got a nice blank iGoogle page. Everyone recognises this. Some flags at the top, just to keep in context. I'm going to add a feed or a gadget, and I'm going to add it by URL. Click add. I get a warning that content wasn't created by Google, but then what do they create these days? Here's my first mashup. It'll load up. So, an application built and deployed to Google in 5 minutes. Let's see if it works. 7780668687. Please clap if the text arrives. Okay, so, meanwhile, I have a phone here. Let's just turn the volume up. I didn't want my mum calling me halfway through, so I left it down. And then also, I clicked on send it. Hopefully. He waits. He waits. This is the trouble with using external services. See, this may or may not come in. But I'm going to click send it again just to make sure. Meanwhile, what we're going to do is we can go back to that URL generator. I'm going to generate another URL. This URL I'm going to generate is just a normal URL. So this can be deployed into any browser or any existing portal that you may have. Or, indeed, this can be deployed into, let's just change one letter, there's a bug in this iPhone tester. This is just an online iPhone testing application, and if I hit that, then hopefully you'll see, here's my mashup deployed to an iPhone. Okay, nothing else to do. Again, let's try this, 447780616687. Clap. Send it. I'm not blaming Cordys if this doesn't work. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. So let me just switch to this. I have a handy camera here, and if I go here, come on, load up. Come on.
Calm down, have you?
Let's just open this up. Okay, I don't want all that tab. Okay, it's not working. For those in the front, they can see, I did just receive a text that says, please clap, and we're done here. Thank you very much.